That is what happened. And that is what
So
happened.
we're gonna start this preseason with lies. That's
No. You can go back.
Why is the jury laughing?
0 chance of winning the game.
Supposed to talk glamour to you.
My grandmother's sitting home watching Jerry Springer.
Lee, is there any way I could have your jacket?
This is my island!
Welcome back to Survivor Breakfast. We are back after our long hiatus between seasons. Excited to be talking to you guys. We're talking preseason Survivor season 43. We're going to be talking about the cast, talking about what we like and what we don't like. I'm Sim, joined as always by Toast and Kale. And before we hop into it today, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Apple Music. Oh my God, there he is. He's back. He's back, folks. But before we hop into this cast here, let's talk a little bit about what we kind of look for in good players. We look out for in somebody who we think might not do that well. Toast, I'll throw to you first. What are your general thoughts there?
So I think that this new era of Survivor, it might actually lend towards a different skill set than what we've seen in the past, right? So like just looking at the past two winners, they were both low key. They didn't really make too many enemies. They were likable people, and they had one or two strategic moves, up their sleeves that they employed at the right time, right? I think in this shortened 26-day Survivor scheme that we have going on right now, I look for people who are able to not, push too many buttons, who are able to remain under the radar for a long amount of time, have some sort of plan in place, and then deliver. And then the last thing, too, is to be able to explain exactly what they've done, right? Both of our past two winners have done a really good job of explaining exactly why they deserve to win, and the people sitting next to them don't deserve to win. Two really great final tribal council speeches, two players who really didn't do too much until the very end of the game, but had a pretty decent under-the-radar social game the entire way. So I'm looking for someone who fits all of those aspects, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Kale, what about you?
Listen. It's good to be back in this chair. It's good to be back connected with you both. Survivor 43.
I skipped that part. I should have said that part.
Survivor Breakfast.
That's us. You're just not happy to be here. That's okay.
Survivor Breakfast season 2 with you all. So I'm happy to be back first and foremost. Secondly, it was this time last season in the preview podcast that I did say whoever was sitting next to Mike at the final end would in the game.
He's lying.
And this is what happened. And that is what
so
happened.
We're gonna start this preseason with lies. That's
no. You can go back.
That's the
you
vibe.
can listen.
Oh, we have.
And
we've listened to it.
No.
Yeah, and if any of you listeners want to go check that out, hop onto the YouTube channel, check out our preseason for season 42.
It's our inaugural episode. You'll see that all my predictions did come true, and boom.
Every time, listen. This is why if people enjoy what we do here, I always say please subscribe because friendships are on the line. Every time I get behind this mic and I have to hear Kale talk about nonsense, it's a risk to our friendship. And I take that risk every day because of you guys, okay? And that's
what? I don't even care what Kale likes in a player. I'm going to talk about what I like. I agree with you, Toast. I think Marianne last season especially showed us that a good speech at the end of the season can really change your game. I mean, obviously she had some great strategic plays as well, but being able to articulate that stuff is huge. One thing that I'm kind of interested to see this season is we've got our first season of people who've seen season 41 and 42. I'm interested to see if everyone's kind of hyper aware of those low key players, of those people who could be those dark horses. I'm interested to see if that can still play after two winners of that.
That's a good point.
So yeah, that should be interesting. And above all else for me, I said it last season, it's just looking for people with the highest self-awareness who can really at the end of the night when they're laying down and going to sleep say, how did I come off to everybody on the beach today? And how can I use that to my advantage in the future?
Well, two things. The shortened season that was spoken about already, I guess, allows this quote-unquote new meta of being able to hide on the radar for a little bit longer without completely being looked at as a pawn.
Yeah.
if you're under the radar for say 33 days, everybody's like, all right, you were under the radar for way too long. So
Totally.
what are you doing?
Yeah, that recency bias hits a lot more on that short season.
It does, but I still do think Marianne had however you want to call it, the last 20% of the game. I thought she kicked ass. I really did.
Oh, totally.
But
yeah, it's just that 20% of the game constitutes what, 6-7 days? I mean, no, that's
no.
even
Listen,
too much.
that's
I
up
can't
for
do math.
debate, and we've
It's
talked
5
about
days.
this before.
Thank you.
We've talked about this before. It's up for debate, but
Yeah.
I think all the things you guys just talked about, self-awareness, and you got to be smart. I mean, both these two last winners were very smart. So
Absolutely.
You can't be lackadaisical out there. I do think we'll get it going early. I do think we're in store for a good cast here. And this is the bigger question that I want to ask: is has production learned anything? Jeff went into, I think, a speech I saw recently talking about the season. They got rid of and did a couple tweaks from the last couple seasons, but production, whatever it was, and casting has done better in recent seasons as a whole. So now let's parlay that and not have stupid twists and stupid things that derail the game, and let's run with it. I'm excited for this season.
No, totally.
Yeah,
and let's be clear, casting has been killing it the last two seasons. I think casting has been unreal. It's again, it's like, can production hear what fans are saying about some of these twists?
Yeah, they have to read the
stuff?
room too. I mean, they ask it of their contestants, right? So like they have to read the room. It was, I mean, a lot of things just fell through, right? Across the board, unanimously. So
Totally.
Well,
hopefully they'll get back
at
it.
I guess the good part to that point is without even viewership feedback, they were able to make adjustments from 42 from 41. So let's see if they run with it. And I'm so excited to jump in here.
Totally. Let's get into these
2 for 2 on big time predictions. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of this season, Kale. But let's hop into some of these cast members here. We're gonna be going through tribe by tribe. First tribe we're gonna be looking at is the Vesey tribe. Is this a reused tribe name? It feels so familiar to me for some reason.
Vati last year.
Vati, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, well let's hop in. The first cast member we have here is Cody Asinmock. He's from.
Let's go with Cody.
Yeah, we'll just go with Cody. He's from Hawaii. I believe there's 2 contestants this season that are from Hawaii. He's 35 years old. I'll throw it to you guys. What are your guys' initial thoughts on Cody here from this bio, as well as some of the videos we've seen released of him?
I don't know, Cody. I'll tell you right now. I don't even mean to be mean. I was going through writing notes on everybody. I wrote his name down as Corey. That's I that's how much he really stood out to me. I'm sorry.
You got nothing from him?
No, he talked a lot about his mullet. In the pregame press, he seemed like a nice, fun-loving guy, but might end up being kind of someone to lean on within challenges. That's another thing we'll talk about later. But I think there's a nice spread of contestants for challenge purposes that we absolutely did not have last season, and even the season before that. So
we got no Jonathans this season. Thankfully.
No Jonathans. Yeah, Cody might be trying to do his best Jonathan impression, but Corey, not for me.
So you know his name now, and you're going to continue to call him Corey.
This is going to be a whole. I hope he makes it to the end, so you just
until he
to
proves you
Corey.
wrong.
I'm sorry. I mean, where do you lie
what
on
are
the
your
Cody
thoughts
spectrum?
here, Johnson?
So listen, I think he does seem like a nice guy. He seems like someone that you can get along with relatively easily. He has kind of like that surfer vibe, like chill. I think he referenced Malcolm, who is also chill, but Malcolm is also like, a super smart guy. I'm not saying that he's not Cody here, Corey, whatever you want to call him at this point, but he one thing that kind of stuck out to me that I it's kind of like a pet peeve of mine is like he said that he's very like charismatic. He kept bringing up charismatic, and I feel like, I don't know, Sim, like I feel like maybe you'll agree with me here, like that word is like a very specific word, right? Like it means something very specifically. People like to say that they're charismatic if they can, get a laugh out of someone, if they can like be, if they're outgoing, gregarious, generally just like an outgoing, extroverted person who's fun loving, right? That's not what charismatic really means, right? And maybe Cody really can command a room and like get people to listen to him and do his bidding and like influence things. But I think more likely it's the case that he's using this word in its like in the the wrong usage of the word. Basically, I don't necessarily see him as somebody who can really influence things.
Yeah,
I think he meant it more like he's an extroverted, fun-loving kind
I think
of
he
guy,
meant to say
right?
like gregarious or outgoing,
exactly,
or whatever,
which is not a bad thing.
Well, I think
it's not negative, but
that I think touches on my biggest worry with Cody. In one of his interviews, he said in like the big prediction interview or whatever, he said he's going to find 5 immunity idols. That was his big prediction for the season. And then he's also using this charismatic. I think I'm getting a little bit of a vibe of overconfidence. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to him to come in and just like run it. I'm worried that he's going to draw a little bit too much attention too early. I don't think it helps that he seems like he's a good looking guy as well. I think that's going to draw a lot of attention to himself as well. So I think if he's also trying to command the room, he could be in a dangerous spot.
Frank, I think this is an overall good-looking cast. Like,
I think we got a lot of great-looking cast members here, so that should be interesting too. See if we can get any secret island relationships.
Yeah, I love that. I would love that.
We haven't had that in a while.
All right.
Actually.
Well,
yeah.
with that being said, let's move on to our next person. Actually, one more thing here. It says he's in elevator sales. Is he selling elevators, or is he like just like a
making elevator pitches?
Yeah, he just makes quick pitches.
Is he selling things out of elevators? Like, is the elevator the location of this where the sales?
Is that
happen?
the new thing? Like the guy in the bathroom who like hands you the towel, but like this is the guy in the elevator who's like, "Hey, do you need a new mop or something?" I don't know.
Yeah, I mean. The problem is that I don't really care, right?
All right, well, let's move on. Let's go to the next member of the Vesey tribe here. We got Justine. Justine, she had this comment too. I see it in this bio too, where she's like, people aren't going to think I'm like competitive or athletic. But she looks like an athletic person though. It's like I don't really understand where that's coming from. But what are your guys' thoughts on Justine here?
I mean, I think you're right.
I guess she's talking about just. I guess she said it in one of her interviews too that she's just about the hair and makeup and whatnot. Which, now that you're even like saying it from your perspective too, yeah, I that just might be an assumption that might fall flat. She might not even like.
I think you're right.
All.
I think she might be thinking that people will perceive her that way. But I mean, if all three of us agree, like I didn't like look at her and think like, oh my god, she's going to be doing makeup the whole 26 days.
No, I didn't. Like, I did not.
So it might be a false perception.
I was
on
like,
her part,
she looks pretty
does
fit.
she overplay her hand in trying to, I don't know, eradicate?
I just don't think
viewpoint?
people are going to be shocked at the fact that she's able to hold her own.
No, I don't think so either. And I think
it's a compliment to her. It's not really a compliment for her self-awareness, if that's the case.
But it is worrying to me for her
like
self-awareness levels.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can you whatever? I will say though, I mean, she works in sales, so she's probably pretty good at talking to people.
Yeah,
I think she's well-rounded with her background and what she spoke about, doing in terms of types of things and activities with his father back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was going to say that is like kind of a worrisome point. Ready? So this was her like EW like interview or whatever. Like
I think
what
I know
she
what you're going to say.
Yeah, I got to get there. Let me just read it a little bit. So we're talking about which past survivor will you play the game most like. So she says either Kelly Wentworth or Joe Englam. And then, yada, yada, yada. She says both were generally likable people to their tribes. It's necessary to perform things like blindsides in order to keep yourself in the game. But I think Kelly and Joe both played in a lawful enough way that wasn't anywhere near as manipulative as other people like Sandra or Tony. All right. So who is going to tell me what the problem is with this sentence?
Kelly,
Are you just saying the connection between all four is just out of whack?
She's saying that she idolizes two people who didn't win the game and juxtaposes it with two people who did win the game.
Oh, that's fair.
She's saying
that's a little worrying. That's a little worrying.
She's criticizing the way that two two-time winners, right? It's like 4 winners here, 4 wins.
Yeah.
She's criticizing those people and actually saying, listen, and the difference between Kelly and Joe is huge, so I don't mean to lump those two together.
That's what I thought you were picking apart.
No. I'm just criticizing the fact that she is idolizing two people that have not won, have each had 3 tries to win and have not won, and actually putting down 2 people who have won 2 times and saying that's not how I want to play. Like,
listen,
no, I don't think it's great.
My retort
It's
to
not
that,
great.
though, my retort to that is that Erica and Marianne's games that just won probably weren't winning in the days of Sandra and Tony. I'm not. I'm not. Now,
I don't think all 4 of them are contestants in this new age. Like all of the 4 people that she mentioned were not like
that's a
either
debate
of
for
those
another
2.
time. But just because I think just because she compared them to 2 winners in past days, we already saw 2 completely different metas. So
But just as a rule of thumb, right? Why would you say that you don't want to play like 2 of the best players that ever played? Like it.
Well, didn't we? I mean,
Yeah, but if it doesn't match her, like that's one of the things you can't play
Sure.
a game that's not like genuine to you.
But she's not saying that
find out quick.
she's not saying I won't play like Tony because I'm not Tony. She's saying that I don't want to play the ways that they manipulated people and ended up winning. I mean, listen, I think this is a glaring problem.
No,
You
no,
guys think it's, like,
I also
maybe a
think
little-
that's
because
a problem. But I think
I-
she's just trying to communicate like what kind of game she wants to play. I don't think
yeah,
she's necessarily
I picked
saying
apart last.
she
last
wants to play
season,
a
I
losing
said-
game.
No, listen.
No,
last
no,
season,
no,
last
you know
season,
that's
I
not what
said
you're saying.
I had a big thing with people just saying, "Oh, I want to play like Parvati. I want to play like Boston Rob."
Sure.
It's just like it's mundane.
Yeah, but Joe and
it's
Kelly are not like some like you
Kelly
know,
Wentworth is my favorite player of all time. You know
That's
this.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Kelly and Joe are not like some like under the radar like wow that's a good answer. Like I think like something like 50% of all female contestants put Kelly Wentworth as who they want to be. It's Kelly and Parvati.
All right. Well,
I mean, to play like Joe, I hate Joe, by the way. I'm sorry, Joe. I mean, like, listen, I think he's one of the worst Survivor players that has ever played. I would love for somebody to come at me.
Worst.
Probably one of the worst.
He was. If you just can look at one facet of challenges alone, he was fantastic.
He's never winning a game of Survivor. He was one of the worst. Come at
Fine
me.
if he said he's never going to win, but he's not one of the. I mean, we can just go through.
all right. Well, look, listen.
This is
That was
derailed,
not
I
what I
know.
thought you were going to bring up, Toast. The thing I thought you were going to bring up was that in one of her interviews, she said that she's super, super competitive. And every time I hear somebody say I'm super, super competitive, I never give them a good shot. Because you get you just can't keep a low enough profile. Like you try too hard in challenges. You like sometimes you got to like not do well to make other people feel good and do other stuff like that. And I just don't know if she's.
It's also a
she's
waste of a
capable doing
sentence.
that.
You're on a competitive TV show. Like we know you're
Of course, you're competitive,
right? Like
I
every
think
person
she has a similar issue to what I brought up with Cody or Corey or whatever his name was. Is that she's also very, very good looking, and that's going to draw a lot of attention to herself. You know, and you can't really play a dark horse game, which she also said she wanted to play a dark horse game in one of her interviews. You know, if you're going to be drawing
she's
all that,
thinking she's gonna
if you're
fool
both
everybody
competitive
by-
and hot, that's a tough dark horse sell.
Yeah, the light is on you. I get that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We got Neca here, 43 years old. Thoughts on Neca here?
So, in a couple of recent seasons of the challenge, which has somewhat of crossover to Survivor, other than the fact that they're born from the same parent company, is that the challenge has pulled in a lot of different international players, like that are truly from different international places. I know that she's been in America for 16 years, but sometimes the international type just doesn't have the same vernacular or same different types of mannerisms or being able to pick up those things just from
Those tiny cues.
just tiny simple cues. I mean, I don't even from 41. Why am I?
Nasir.
Yeah, Nasir.
It's just little things. It does not mean that in a season where there was more of those types of players that they would fare better. It's just little social cues that are sometimes tough for international players, and that would be if I was in or if any of the American players were in a game in another country. That's just how I feel
No,
about it.
absolutely. I think that's definitely a thing to be worried about, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm more worried about just the general like mom archetype. Like, her entire like bio, everything that she's talking about is related to her family, whether it be her hero, her most proud accomplishment, and that's like awesome. Like for sure. Like in the game of life, like for sure. Like if you have that and that's your thing, like that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like if that is what you're most proud of, makes total sense. But as it relates to like this game, like what is her edge? Like what is she gonna be like? Can she make good alliances with people that are going to help her get further, that are like under the radar, like an under the radar alliance? Can she bring in like a younger guy or a younger girl or somebody that people wouldn't really see? I don't know. That's really what it is. I mean, this is for me. I'm just looking at it like, what is she bringing to the table? She's mom archetype. She will probably have a touching story. She's going to relate to the viewers in some way. But from what she's given so far, there's nothing I can pinpoint and be like, okay, that's your edge. That's really where I stand.
Yeah, and I don't know that we're going to be able to find something like that in a preseason. We'll have to wait and see what she plays like. But I totally agree with you. I'm also getting this mom archetype. She seems super, super nice in all of her interviews. She seems like very kind. But I don't know how that. Did say
there's a lot about Marianne last season too. Quite honest, in all of her interview press, I said I was saying the same things about Marianne.
I feel like I'm describing her more like I did Mariah.
About the nice and like super fun loving.
Yeah, but Marianne also had this like chaotic vibe, this chaotic energy.
No, yeah,
like,
I don't think
this is the opposite of chaos here. I feel like we're looking at boilerplate, like straightforward.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep moving. Next, we have Noelle here. Noelle, I think she doesn't have one of her legs, and for me, I think that's going to be really tough for her. Like we talk about this in previous seasons of like hide your final tribal story. But everybody knows what her final tribal story is. She doesn't have one of her legs, and I think that's going to be problematic. Again, I think it's going to draw a lot of attention to her. But I think she has a lot of staying power early game because nobody wants to be the person to be like, let's kick out the girl who doesn't have a leg.
Listen, I get what you're saying. There's a lot of inherent contradictions. Like she wants to have her story not be defined by her losing her leg in an accident, right? But she also has talked about that a whole lot, right? Whether she likes it or not, like that is a part of her game.
And the producers are going to be pushing it. Like
no, yeah. So there's two things. I think that first of all, historically, there's been two other survivors that have not had a leg. She's saying that she's the first one to be an above the knee amputee, which I assume is harder because you're missing a full extra joint, and it's a big one too.
Yeah. But I think
that she's misdiagnosed her own problem here. Because her problem isn't that people are not going to think that she's athletic and competitive and can hold her own. They're going to be threatened. It's the exact opposite of her problem.
No, I totally agree. They're threatened by the story.
Exactly. But she doesn't know that. From everything that she's put forth, she's saying that she wants to prove to everyone that she's capable, when in reality, she should not want to prove that. She should want to hide it.
Yeah, she'd be like, hey, I need people to carry me down the beach. She should be lying about stuff. You know what I mean? Like
I think that would be actually pretty sick. I mean, it would be a little twisted in some ways, but in other ways, it would be super, like, it would be a great way to mask her real threat level. Do you really want to be sitting next to somebody who has a story that's great?
Absolutely not. It's the last person you want to be sitting next to.
You could play the best game, and like you might be like, I can't compete with this. Like the whole limb lapse.
I think I'm going to nail her story in this game to a T. I think she's actually going to dominate in terms of challenges, to be honest with you.
I think so too.
No, I think she's going to be really good, but that's all she's going to do. I don't think she's really going to be playing in the strategic
Yeah, that's fair. She has this chip on her shoulder. She really wants to prove it, Both the other players with amputations, by the way, one was a pre-merge boot, the other one was early merge boot. So I think it's a general consensus that people are threatened towards the end game with letting somebody who has such a great story sneak by like this, because she's going to be impressive. Like, let's be honest, she's going to be impressive.
Totally. And I just don't think she's going to be a week 1 or a week 2. Because I think week 1, week 2, everybody just wants it to be somebody else, but like nobody wants to be I think
especially if she actually is contributing in the way that we predict she's going to. Like if she's actually winning challenges, like then that's a different reason why she's not going to get first or second boot. It's because she's actually helping,
Totally.
I think we all think she will.
All right. Next we have Jessie. Jesse, North Carolina, 30 years old. He's an ex-gang member and is now has like a PhD in political science. If I'm remembering correctly, Shan was also an ex-gang member. This was a note that I had. It'd be interesting to see like how like if he has similar traits in his gameplay because of the similar background or not, and if he plays differently. Interested to hear what you guys think about Jesse here.
I think there's that similarity, but if you think about what Shan did, Shan went from being, gang related or whatever you want to say, to being a pastor, which is very like people forward, right? A lot of communications. Listen, if he's I didn't know it was political science, but if he's involved with interacting with people, then that's one thing. But PhD, generally speaking, like you're alone in a lab doing work all day. Like you're not necessarily getting that like face-to-face interaction.
But he did say in one of his interviews that like he gives a lot of like talks at conferences.
Yeah,
still,
which
but that
you're
still
right.
doesn't necessarily mean much.
It doesn't translate as one to
No,
one.
I know, but
that.
I know. I just don't think like a political science PhD that you're sitting around in a lab. You're not like
I get it. I'm just trying to juxtapose Shan's journey from the gang. I mean,
for sure,
it's kind of weird.
And I don't mean to say that it's the same thing. What in political? Yeah. What if we take a little bit of
conservative
Breaking
Bad?
I mean, from all the interviews I saw of him, though, he seems like a really smart guy. I'll
be honest. I like him.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I do. I like him.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I came into this, preview thinking that I was gonna be Team Jesse a little bit, but you guys just brought up some valid points that I actually I'm falling less in love. I think, because I'm just recalling back how he spoke and his nature about how he was discussing his turnaround from being a gang member to following a different path and getting the PhD. I don't know if he's done much outside of really studying. Like I think this is a valid
Here's the
point.
thing, though. I feel like if you're gonna have a PhD, I think if you're gonna have a PhD, though, I think political science might be one of the better ones. Like,
yeah, but I'm talking
like
about
voting dynamics and how blocks work, and like I don't know. He could have some really good.
He said he was like Christian or Cochran or somebody if they had joined a gang. Like that's how he's describing himself. Which
he
is
described
a cool
himself
way
as
to
Christian if he joined a gang. That's funny.
Correct. Yeah. Or Spencer, I think he mentioned, which was also great. I mean, I like all of the analogies.
What are your thoughts on this, too? He had a picture in one of his interviews, which was from his, I guess, Duke graduation. Did you guys see this?
I didn't see it, no.
He had long hair. No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm saying, does the look like I don't know why did he think he cut his hair?
He could be trying to look less like intellectual. I think you shave the head, you look a little bit more like tough, maybe.
Rough.
Yeah, and he's trying to.
Well, it depends on how he's going to project him or portray himself when he's out there. Like, is he going to hold this gang transition over time into a doctor, like someone with a doctorate? Is he going to hold that close to the chest? Is he going to divulge that information day one? I'm leaning towards he's going to be talking about it.
If I'm Jesse, I'm not talking about it. But if I'm Jesse,
I agree.
I'm going to try to do my best to like come off as like a dumb tough guy.
I agree.
Even though he's clearly very intelligent.
That role,
you know what I mean?
He can play that role great. I mean, he could.
So that's what I'm saying.
I think people on the show would eat that up.
You think the haircut was a factor, maybe?
Maybe, and I think if it is, that was very smart of him. I think.
I don't need it as a point.
I'm
just
Team Jesse. Look, all I'm saying is I'm Team Jesse. I'm excited to see what he brings to the table.
He kind of looks like Jesse Pinkman a little bit with the name Jesse. Like he kind of gives off that same. I mean, I don't know. His name's Jesse.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep moving to our last member of the Vesey tribe here. We've got Dwight Moore, 22 years old. He's a graduate student. What are your guys' thoughts here on Dwight?
The last member on the Vesey tribe.
Yeah, last member of Vesey here. I don't have much on Dwight here, honestly.
What was
he fell out of my brain as soon as I did all my research.
Yeah, He was very lackluster from my perspective.
I just
His
didn't get a
words
lot.
were not his
maybe
words
he
were
comes
not
out, but-
captivating. He's clearly a smart guy. He talked about how he got like a perfect score on his ACT when he was like a sophomore or something, which is obviously like no small feat.
Yeah,
I
but
just
he's
think-
been running he's been as a kid. He was running like a lot of different interviews, doing.
Yeah, I just
me.
I don't see it. He comes off as flat. I didn't like when he was talking. I was not like oh, like I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to hear how the story ends. Like I was kind of like okay, like
I'm gonna be quite honest. It's so tough. And we talk about this all the time to win this game this young. It truly.
It is tough. But well, Marianne though. I mean, how old is
I
Marianne?
thought she was like 20.
younger.
Younger.
No,
I
she
think.
wasn't. No, she was younger.
I thought she was
she
like
was
19
younger than him
or something.
Yeah, she was.
Marianne was
Yes.
19.
Yes,
I think she's
maybe not
really
19,
young.
but she was younger. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
crazy.
That
So
was completely. That was
we've
also
been
why it was hard to.
abused of all of our ageist notions from last season. We gotta.
Yeah.
No,
But I don't. I don't think
hold
it's
on
his
a
age.
second.
No, but I think it is tough. I think it is tough. I think Marianne is obviously an outlier on the age thing. I think it is tougher. You have less life experience. You
Sure.
have less time to like know who you are and know how you come
Yeah.
off to people.
Well,
And
There's
that's my
somebody
point.
later
That's
on
harder-
that
it's
I
harder
think
to
this
run.
applies to more, but
Well, hold
there's
on,
someone
hold on,
later
hold on.
Yeah, go.
I guess I should rephrase that. It's tough to control the game without having that much life experience, because we can at least all agree that Marianne did not control the large majority of the game.
For sure. Yeah, that's why she
played-
won.
Yes, exactly, and she played her cards right when she needed to, and that's because she was smart enough to do so. So I guess I'll edit my phrasing there. I don't know. I like the vibe I got from Dwight. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm not a big fan of this tribe in general. I don't really have someone that sticks out tremendously from this tribe.
Yeah, to
That's
me,
fair.
well,
Those
let's
six.
look at the tribe as a whole here.
Yeah.
To me, my favorite person out of these people is probably Jesse.
I think you're right. And maybe Justine. Maybe Justine. If
Maybe
she can figure it
Justine
out.
is like if she can really like run the show a little bit. But like there's nobody here who I'm like dying to see play yet.
No. Well, no. I'm very excited to see all. I just think all 6 of these individuals potentially have fatal flaws.
For sure.
Whether it be
But yeah.
experience, whether it be self-awareness, whether it be
As a conglomerate though,
Yeah, like how are they going to work together?
I think 5 out of 6 of them are going to be beasts in all of the challenge. They're all individually. I think Neca maybe not. Like I don't know.
No, she
just,
could be.
like,
She could
She
be.
could be for
she
sure.
could be.
But in the early like team like carry a bunch of stuff and run it up a hill. I think that there's 5 individuals on this team that can do that no problem. So like I don't know how it is compared to the other tribes. Like once we look and really delve into it, I think that they could be a good work together unit in the beginning pre-merge. Like I think that they'll be okay as a starting tribe.
Yeah,
I think this is the strongest physical tribe, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I have to compare it. I have to see them all together.
yeah. I kind of forget the other people now that we're
All
going
right,
through
well,
them.
I'm
All
the
right, well,
first
let's
to
talk
claim
about
it, so
Coco
just
Tribe now. Let's keep moving. Coco Tribe. First person we're gonna be looking at is Lindsay, 42, pediatric nurse. Don't start. I don't want to hear it. What are your guys' thoughts on Lindsay here?
Lindsay, yeah, pediatric nurse. I actually thought that she could have fallen into the realm of she's that mom archetype as well that we just spoke about. Not always. I don't know if it's a cutthroat piece of the puzzle or it's I don't know. It's
She's a
it's not
different
like
mom, though. She's a different mom archetype.
All
I
right, so
think
does
she's-
she have the Sandra aspects of being a mom?
No, I think she's more like a Dawn aspect, a T-Bird, Debbie from Token Sheens. I think that she's like she's somebody that I think can make good insulating alliances that'll get her far in the game. And maybe in this new game that we're talking about, that'll be enough. If she can string together 2 moves in a row, who knows? Like that might be the limiting or like the least thing. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but maybe she can put together 2 moves and make it happen. But in reality, I think she's going to get lost in the sauce. I think she's going to get in a nice insulating, safe alliance, make it far in the game, and then be overall relatively forgettable. That's what I think. Sounds
Yeah.
like it, you know.
Do you think
That's a
she could
bleak.
Chrissy Hoffbeck this or no?
Okay, but what does that mean? Lose the game? Yeah, I think she can lose.
Well, she only lost the game because of Ben's epic run. She probably won the game.
And maybe production getting involved with the fire making choice.
Yeah,
maybe.
no, listen. Well, I think Devin wins the game if he made it there, to be honest.
I think, actually, just as a quick aside, they actually think that Ryan might have won that game with Ben out of the picture.
Who says that?
When they pull that cast, they actually think that Ryan has a better chance with Ben out of the picture over Devin, which is crazy. But totally aside, but I see the Chrissy too. I'll give you that. Can she win 4 immunity challenges? She looks like she could. I don't see any.
I think
reason
she
why
looks
not.
like she could too. But
There's a lot of balance. There's been so
at
much
the same
balance
time,
recently.
I think this is again a more physical cast that we've seen in the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
At least from being able not to have too many throwaways in terms of people probably not going to be picking up a challenge. Like last season, there was times where it was Lindsay or Jonathan, and I remember us talking about it where
Yeah, it was like 6 weeks in a row.
Who's going to win this?
Yeah.
I know Mike picked up one, and who was the other surprise? There was another surprise one, I think. But listen,
Okay.
I don't know. No, I'm a middle of the road.
I think I'm pretty close to middle of the road, but I'm more positive than negative on Lindsay.
That's
here.
fine. I'll sign on I'll sign on to that. I'm okay.
Yeah,
with that.
I think I'm excited.
Got the toast approval.
I'm excited to see what she does.
No, not fully.
I think Lindsay could legitimately play, one of these dark horse games potentially. I think we'll just have to see. All right, let's keep moving on the Coco Tribe. We've got Cassidy Clark, 26 years old, fashion designer from Austin. Thoughts on Cassidy here?
I need you two to go first because
I think I'm. It's hard to pin it down, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, I didn't have a lot.
I really don't know. She's 26. She comes off as younger than 26, quite frankly. Like in her interviews. I think that the younger girls of her archetype actually I think struggle to get through the beginning of the game because they're the most likely to be pinned for not pulling their own weight in the challenges. I mean, there were in Survivor 41 there was Sarah. You can switch in for Cassidy right here, and it could have been the exact same story where she's the second boot on the first episode because it's a long episode. Like I could definitely see that. I can definitely see that here for Cassidy. But on the other hand, I think that if she gets some traction, she might be able to work her way in with some powerful people and then become powerful herself in that way. But I don't know if she's going to really have that longevity, which is unfortunate because she seems interesting. That's my take.
Big Cassidy fan.
Big Cassidy fan.
All right. This is good because this is a nice.
Yeah, why are you such a big Cassidy fan here, Kel?
Listen, even in her interviews, I first was getting how serious of a type of player is she? How seriously she can take this game? I don't know. She persuaded me in conversation. I do think she talked a lot about maybe a little bit too much about how she wants to be a fox or she is a fox or something like that. Fantastic.
Wait,
fox.
I must have missed this. What do you?
Yeah,
what
I
is
must
that?
have missed that too. What?
In her interview, she said she was a fox, and that she manipulates.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, she mentioned a fox.
No, that's cool,
Yeah, no,
and I
no.
think
Like
that's
5 times.
sick.
I think that
okay.
stuff kind of makes me worried though too. When people
No, it does,
go
and that's
into the
why
game being like, I'm gonna manipulate people and pull their strings. I'm like,
Yes,
but are you though? Are you actually though?
There's something about her that I think she's gonna be a nice dark horse.
Okay, but can we just admit at just a general 10,000 foot view game wise, she's has a higher likelihood than some of the people around her to be targeted early if they
She doesn't
lose,
have an easy road early game.
If they lose an early immunity challenge, if it's one tribe wins immunity and the 2 go to tribal, I think she has a high chance of getting.
Well, we'll take another look at that at the end of Coco Tribe when we look at the tribe as a
for
whole.
sure. Yeah, let's look at it as a whole.
So next,
Dark horse.
we've got Gio. We've got Gio
I think
here.
Gio's going home before.
I
Cassidy.
do not. I don't have high hopes for Gio here.
I think Gio's going home before Cassidy.
Okay, but
right.
we said similar things. We said similar things about Romeo last season, and he lasted a long time. He wasn't doing anything,
I gotta find Gio on this. I just gotta refresh my memory on what he said.
But yeah, no, I don't have high hopes for Gio. It's weird that this is something that like has stuck in my mind, but like it's worrying to me that he quit his job. Like I feel like there's like a weird amount of like, yeah, they were like his work apparently was like, we'll give you time off to do the show. Then last minute they were like, no, you gotta quit.
Oh,
but like we can potentially rehire you when you come back. I just feel like that's a lot of pressure, and I don't think you need more pressure than Survivor already is going into the show.
yeah.
I also one thing
Thank you.
I like paying attention to these people's embarrassing story interviews for the Entertainment Weekly stuff. I always think that's really
horrible.
illuminating. His embarrassing story was that 5 minutes prior to the interview, he looked at a coconut tree and thought it was a mango. And then in his own head said, "Is that a mango? Oh no, it's a coconut. How embarrassing." Like that. I mean, come on.
That's just,
And
I'll be
5
honest
minutes
with you.
before what interview?
That's
the
Before
Survivor
he
interview?
talked to the camera about the embarrassing story.
Yeah, Simi,
His embarrassing story happened 5 minutes before he told the
All
story.
right, well, compare and
No,
contrast
wait,
that.
wait,
He
wait.
went to a
Stop.
whole
Kale,
speech about
Kale.
not having one last year. Who didn't
No,
have
wait.
one last year?
I forget
really
who it
remember.
was, but that worried me also.
Oh, Jenny?
Yeah, no,
Was it Roxroy who didn't have an
I
embarrassing
think it
story?
was Jenny.
it may have been Jenny, but it
Wait, can
falls
I
in line
just say-
with just like making it up.
Can I
Yeah.
say that
Yeah,
is so
100%.
far away from an embarrassing story that it is barely a thought? Like,
I would argue, Toast. I would argue it's barely
not
a story. It's not a story.
It's not really particularly embarrassing.
Where's
I mean,
the
it's like,
rising
okay.
action? Where's
There's nothing.
There's no climax. There's no resolve. There's nothing.
It's a non-entity. The whole thing. He could have just said, "Hey, cut."
Look,
Like,
I think we can all agree. I don't think any of us really have high hopes for Gio
Wait,
here.
but can I say I'm happy that you put this little tidbit in the paragraph here because I really wanted to point this out. When he's talking about what player he's going to be, he says, "I would have to be a combination of Cochran and Boston Rob. I'm not as physical as Rob, but I will be strategic like Cochran." So in my
not a
head, immediately I'm
combination.
going. In my head, I'm saying, in other words, you're going to play like Cochran, right? Give me
that's
any
fair.
part of Boston Rob.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
if you're
fair.
going to say it and have some reason for it, but don't just be like, I'm a combination of A and B and I'm going to play like B. Well, what the hell? Well, there's nothing there. It's another
Just say you're going to play like Cochran then. Call it
Exactly.
a day.
It's super easy. Yeah.
Well,
don't know.
I just don't have a lot of. I
I
worry.
feel bad.
worry
We're kinda
for our
ripping
boy
on him, but
Gio.
yeah.
I know, and it's sad because we keep getting players with cool names,
okay.
and then they keep
I'm
not
fine
being great.
saying
We got
I'm out.
Roxroy last season, we got Gio this season, but I think I'm out.
I'm comfortable saying I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll get again. This is you you guys are just fighting against yourselves on the Cassidy point. To me, this
No,
buffers up
you're
Cassidy.
not wrong. I mean, listen, I said let me wait to see the rest of the cast, and then boom, right away we got
Okay.
Gio here,
All right, let's
giving
go to- let's
Cassidy
go
a
to the
glimmer of
next.
hope.
Let's go to the next on the Coco Tribe. We got Carla. Carla is from Newark, 28 years old. Thoughts, folks? Kale, what about you? What are your thoughts on Carla here?
I wanted to write Carla off because she kept one of her last things that she wrote that she talked about is that her family is known as it's a Spanish word for nosy. I think is what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what her entire family embodies as being nosy. I don't
It's
know.
not.
I mean,
Not a good thing. Clearly.
No,
You can say it.
no.
It's not a good thing in the context of Survivor.
I was gonna say is she just gonna fall right into the category of being someone that everybody considers annoying?
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
is she gonna be?
That's
Is she
the
gonna be
thought process I
okay
had.
sitting there not having all the information, or is she gonna be
That's
one of the
what-
people who runs around? and keeps
I
being
wasn't
like,
viewing it
I need
like
to know.
that.
I need to know. Well, that's
I
what
was
that's
viewing
what
it
I'm
more
wondering.
towards the annoying side that Kale's saying, but like,
But that's
she
what
seems
I
like
mean.
she's
I think that makes you annoying by running around and everybody's like,
for,
"Hey,
for
chill,
sure,
chill."
The method in which you're annoying, fine. But I'm saying that, like, from my perspective, I'm looking at her. She seems like she's very like I'm here, like I'm Carla. I'm here to play. Very out in the open, like, and she. I mean, I don't know how to describe it any other way other than that. And like, I know that in life, like, that's a really great attribute to have. Like, you're a go-getter. You're like, I'm here to play. This is who I am. Like unabashedly herself, right?
Yeah.
But in Survivor, like you have to be able to tone that down a little bit, at least in the beginning. Like to be able to like find common ground with people, right? Because the farther you are in any one extreme, the harder it is to like find people in the middle, you know? And I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily see her being great at that aspect in a very short amount of time on a beach in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like
Totally. No, totally. I mean, yeah, I think the one thing I am excited about is this last sentence that she has about her eavesdropping skills. I'm hoping we get another like build a little fort in the woods and listen to people chat. I just love people like that on Survivor seasons. But I agree with the points you guys are making about Carly here. All right, next up we've got James, 37 years old, event planner from Philadelphia. I kind of missed this. 12 years old, he won the United States Chess Open.
Oh, you missed that? Yeah, he was
It's pretty sick.
chess player.
What are your guys' thoughts on James here?
I mean, I like this line, comfort in chaos. It's a good line. You know, it's being
alliteration.
able to sit in the weeds and truly start to, you know,
yeah.
situate yourself in a spot where you're not going crazy. You know, we all thought Romeo last season, and I don't want to say that he went crazy, but you know, he overthought himself out of being in a pretty good position pre-merge. You know, so it's when you could sit back and play like an Homer and say, you know, I'll let all this stuff go crazy on the outside of me and let it all come to me.
Yeah.
James, I was a positive on James. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
fair.
I think it's probably one of the better skills or personality traits you can have is being comfortable with chaos in a game like Survivor.
For sure. There's nothing that stands out that's like, okay, I don't like this. Like that you're bringing this mentality to the game. There's nothing negative. Being good at chess, I mean, it's just classic. Like being able to see steps ahead is never a bad thing, you know?
Absolutely.
Being able to see multiple ways in which things can play out is not a bad thing. Like, and comfort in chaos, it's kind of like Littlefinger in a way. Like chaos is a ladder. Like I'm picturing him like manipulating everything around him and then just like kind of like sitting in it and just letting it like fester. If he can do that, that's great. I mean, and we take away from Romeo a little bit, but he did throw that one vote at High that completely made High tank his own game. Which was a little bit of controlled chaos, you know? He did that purposefully. He didn't own it. He did not own it in the final tribal.
Because I think
because
he was upset, and that's why he did it too, though.
But High was basically like, you gaslit me and this and that. I'm like, High, like, welcome to Survivor, buddy.
Yeah,
like, this
what are you
is
talking
Survivor.
about, bro?
That is how the game works, like, right? Like,
Yeah.
And High, I mean, listen, this is a totally different thing, but like, he was very much criticizing everybody else around him while he was doing the same thing. So it's like, regardless, I wish Romeo owned it because it was a purposeful move and I liked it a lot.
It ended up being a very good move. For
It
Romeo.
worked. I mean, it did exactly the cool thing that it should have done.
Yeah,
But,
I think the thing I'm excited about with James here, especially with the chess
take me
stuff, is
back.
like one of the core skills of chess is like being able to set up your own game while making it appear to the other person that you're playing a different game, right? It's being aware of like, what is this move? What is he going to think I'm doing by doing this move? And that's exactly what we want to look for in a Survivor play. Where I like James a lot. I think I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to see what happens with him this season.
I think we all agree that it's probably like the social aspect of it that might be the thing that is the crux of it, right? Because
we'll have to
in
see.
chess, it's as simple as moving a piece in one place and then
You're
knowing
talking about
what-
relationship building on the James
That's
front?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
needs
I'm a
to
little
be able.
scared. I'm a little
He
scared.
needs to be able to do that to move the pieces. It's not as simple as picking it up.
Of
and
course,
moving on the,
of
you know.
course.
So.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm interested to see. I'm on the positive side for James.
Sure. Yeah, I can get there.
And lastly, on the Coco Tribe, we've got Ryan here. Me personally, watching his videos, I like Ryan a lot. I think he's super nice guy, super personable.
I totally agree.
I think
I'm tempted to say I love Ryan. I'll be honest with you.
I think he actually is the charismatic person that maybe Cody thinks he is.
He's so
I'm excited
likable.
about. I like him a lot.
could be
Mikhail, I want
I
to
think
hear.
I think he's very likable.
I think he's very likable. Now that could be a little worrying if you're a little too likable.
Yeah,
Everybody's
that's the
like,
problem.
we got to get him out of here. So I don't know if he's going to be okay not being as likable as I think he actually is. But yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully he doesn't say anything about the cerebral palsy to anyone.
I agree.
I hope he never mentions it.
Yeah, that's
And
such a
that.
good revelation when your game is on the line to be like, this is an extra obstacle that might not be like so physically overt that you would be able to see it, which is another, like, unfortunately, like, I feel like he can probably get away with not having to explain that to anybody, whereas like Noelle has to be like, I am missing a leg, like it's self-evident, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's sort of an advantage that he has in this sense, right?
Yeah, it's an invisible story, which is
For sure,
a nice
for
thing.
sure. But he also is like I said, he's super likable. Even just like looking at him right now, like I don't know what somebody can come to like to have a problem with him. You know what I mean? I don't see him.
He's in ridiculously great shape too. There's a picture.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
another
think he's
thing.
gonna kill challenges.
He-
but I got
he's
the
not
problem.
gonna-
That's the thing I'm worried about with him is if
His
he's
threat
if he's
level.
killing challenges and
he's
unbelievably likable. It's like all right,
likable.
we gotta get rid of Ryan.
That's what it could be. That could be his downfall.
I think
is threat
that's
management.
his biggest danger.
Kale, wait. So what do you think? I didn't get you on that. Maybe I wasn't listening.
I'm just scared. He said he truly did say he was scared himself because he feels like he can't pick up certain things in conversation. He said that himself in his interview. So
Honestly, I kind of like that he's aware of that though. Like I like that
I understand.
kno-
I understand. It's good to
I
be
feel like
aware
half
of
the
it,
people
but it
who say
also-
they're really
it
great at
also-
picking up little things are actually probably not that good, in reality. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Understood. But if it is true, he potentially could miss something. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, totally.
that's fine.
Totally.
That's
That's
fine.
it's a fair thing. I think though, it could play to his advantage if you're super likable, but you're like a little bit awkward and like aren't picking up on little things. You could
Yeah, you
push
can
through
get
because people are
under-
like, oh,
yeah.
he's just like a bumbling likable guy. Who
sure.
kind of
No, I
fucks in his way
I
through the
agree
game
that
kind of thing.
that perception of you, exterior perception of you, plays well. No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
Here's
It's whether or
another-
not
here's
he
another
can,
little-
he can play it himself. Yeah.
Another little side point is that like you are out there on this island and you're picking the people that are surrounding you, right? And like even in this last season that we watched, like Marianne was tempted to keep Lindsay in the game even though she had recognized her as a threat but just liked her as a person and almost faltered. Like obviously also
Yeah.
due to her own like problems of getting over the potential of failure, right? Like she
And that
was almost going
self-sabotage
to
aspect,
exactly that self-sabotage aspect. But like Lindsay being just purely a likable person almost allowed Marianne to make a fatal mistake in her game. Like I think likability has like this intangible value that like people are just like
Oh, no
like
doubt.
you said, like Simi said, if he's like kind of aloof and like maybe like not like directly in the convo all the time, but everyone's like I want him to stay.
Yeah, I love Ryan.
that.
He's a
Could
great
give
guy.
him enough. That could give him enough.
I mean, just
you know,
look at
movement.
like somebody like Mike, the guy who wrote School of Rock. What's his last name? Mike
White.
White, like just the most likable person you've ever seen in your life, and
Yeah.
he makes it all the way to the end, and like arguably like should have won if he wasn't
Throws
like
it.
a millionaire. You know what I mean?
He throws it. He kind of throws it in the end.
He did.
Let's
He
be
knew
real.
he didn't need the $1 million.
He did. He did. Kale. He did kind of throw it. He had
Did
a
not play well
horrible.
in the beginning of that game.
Yeah, he ran.
No,
out
but I
to
think
the
he
idol
found
right
his
away.
stride. He found his stride. All right, well, let's look at the
did.
Coco Tribe as a whole here. We got Lindsay, Cassidy, Gio, Ryan, James, and Carla. I think
I mean, I don't know how you cannot view this tribe and say this is the Cassidy show all day every day.
I think we're going to see some clashes in this tribe. Personally, I think
You
we're
don't
going to see
think
some
Lindsay's going to
dysfunction.
suss her out potentially, like right away?
No, I don't even think that's Lindsay's memo. I don't think she's sussing around. You think she's sussy?
Well, what do you? When you say this is Cassidy's tribe all day, like what are the inroads here? What are you seeing? What's Cassidy like? Who is she going to?
I think they're just like I think Carla, like just the way that she described how she's potentially going to go about things, I don't think is going to play well for her. I'm not the biggest fan of what's being emanated on Gio's front in his interviews. James might not be able to be the relationship building front. So who's leading the charge on creating relationships? Yes, I think Ryan is
Ryan,
likable.
Ryan,
Just
and
look,
like
just
maybe
look at his
Lindsay.
picture and his massive smile right now.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's just such a nice guy.
Yeah, no, listen.
Look, I
I'm
think
gonna
week
shake his
one.
hand.
I think week one, this group loses a challenge and Gio goes
Yeah.
home. That's my prediction here.
I think
on
okay,
Coco.
fine, that's
Could
fine.
be
but
Carla
I,
going home too, though. I think this is the
I
Cassidy
don't think
show.
I don't
over
think Carla is gonna be too weak in challenges. Especially if it involves like carrying a bunch of shit. Like she's gonna carry more than Cassidy is.
You think
She's gonna
Carla's just
carry
got
more
that
than-
carrying capacity? You think
I think
Carla's
Ryan.
just
I
like,
think Ryan
She's just a
is in
bigger
charge of
like
it.
human. She's just
Yeah,
stronger.
yeah,
It looks
yeah,
like Gio is like 100 pounds soaking wet. It looks like.
I just feel like there's nobody here who's gonna be like, oh, we're best friends now. I feel like no one's gonna. I'm worried about.
I think
creating
Lindsay
deep
and
relationships.
Lindsay and Ryan could come together and be a little
I'm telling
threatening.
you, it's the Cassidy show.
All right,
All right.
Kale's claiming Cassidy show. Let's keep it moving. Let's head to our last tribe. We've got the. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
all
Do you
right,
have one
I'll
more
let
thing
it,
about
no,
Coco?
I'll let it, I'm just gonna
Well,
criticize
what do you want to
Kale. and I
say?
can
What do you
let-
want to say?
I'm
Kale's
basically just saying. Can you
Cassidy's
at least
his new
admit?
Drea.
Can you admit that? Can you admit that Cassidy does have a higher than average?
Not on this tribe. In general, yes, not on this tribe. She's got the turns
mean,
on here.
I would
Just
agree.
because
I
there's
would agree.
so-
Not on this tribe. I don't think you have. I think those younger girls in particular.
You're banking
have
on
a tough-
Carla being good in a challenge.
I think you have a tough time, Toast. I think more with the younger girls when you have like two like Roxroys on your team. Those are the guys. But I don't know that anybody here is like, oh, let's target the young.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know.
she's gonna get targeted because she's the young girl. I'm just saying that like if they do mess up in the challenge, it might be more than likely due to her.
I
That's
just
all I'm
think
saying.
Cassidy's going to do better at a challenge than Gio is. I don't think Gio's going to be great in
And Carla.
challenges.
I think Cassidy's going to be better than Carla. So we'll
I think Carla
If
could be
I'm
good in
wrong about
challenges.
Cassidy, listen.
I've got some faith
if I'm
in
wrong
Carla's
about Cassidy,
challenge.
if I'm wrong about Cassidy, I won't be upset. Okay, I won't be upset.
No.
Not
you
with,
clearly seem upset.
no. I'm just
Toast,
saying. I
you're
don't know if she can
freaking
get
out
far.
right now.
You're
I'm freaking out.
fuming.
You're
I'm
freaking
about to
out.
vote. I'm about to send a vote to high.
All right, I'm gonna keep us moving. We're gonna head to our last tribe. We got the Baka tribe.
Baka.
We are gonna start
Baka.
out with Mike.
Oh, by the way, Vessi way stronger than Coco.
Yeah. That's
Oh
a fact.
yeah.
I'll give you that.
Challenge wise,
Overall,
I think
their
overall and
average is
challenge
higher.
wise, I probably like that tribe a little bit
Challenge
better.
wise, yeah. Challenge.
Yeah. All right, we got Mike, 52 years old. Seems like a super nice guy to me. I got another.
Yeah.
Seems like
Nice older guy.
Intriguing guy, to be honest with you. Intriguing.
Yeah. No,
I don't
he's
know how
like-
you. I don't know how you are walking into ORs and surgeries, like looking like this. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just saying like.
No, you're saying like as a health
Hey, your
risk,
patients,
you're-
like,
Yes,
this is
yeah,
the
that's what
guy-
I'm talking
this
about.
is
Like,
the guy operating on
everybody's-
me?
and every,
It seems
and
like
every-
he's like
Hey,
a
Kale,
he's like a sales rep or
Kale,
something,
he's
right?
in
I mean,
Idaho. Come on.
he's
Come on,
He's in Idaho.
still-
I don't know,
there's-
they're doing surgeries there
Yeah,
apparently.
they're
doing
still doing
surgery-
surgeries in Idaho.
They're doing
Come on.
surgeries in Idaho.
All right,
I
back
like
on
Mike
it, though.
personally. I
But
think.
here's
excited about
my
this game.
thought process. I don't even mean it from. I'm talking about from if that is my profession. I feel like I would need to show up to ORs and doctors' offices not with a full threaded beard. Like I and with the tattoos too. I mean the tattoos. It's not really. Too
I mean,
big
you're
to be
scrubbed.
up.
He's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
scrubbed in. I mean, the beard is actually a problem though. Like he can't really wear an N95 with that beard.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm.
Maybe
talking
he just
about.
grew it out for the show.
No.
He
had
wants to feel a
pictures.
little
I saw
scruffy.
pictures of him in the OR with the beard, roaming around. The beard.
Good
was
for him.
roaming.
He knows what he knows what he likes. I like
not
Mike.
great to have a beard like that.
I'm not going to stand
Does
as
it not,
Mike
do you not
slouching.
find
hard
it?
fouls.
Do you not
Yeah.
find it that very intriguing, interesting individual can lead a life working in that fashion?
No, I
He
think he
seems
could.
like-
What is he doing surgeries or is he like med sales?
No,
No.
that's what I'm saying. I think he's like a med sales rep or
I-
something like
I
that.
think
Where
he-
because
He shows
he's like
the doctors
showing them the valves, the prosthetic
Yeah.
valves.
I think med sales. You got to be very personable.
Sure, you got to make
Yes.
relationships.
Yeah.
No. To
definitely.
be honest with you, me saying all this, I'm not down on him. I'm middle of the road on
Yeah.
Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Middle of
I
the road on
think
Mike.
I think it's nice.
Mike might be a guy that you need to pair up with, and then when you end up with him at the end of the game, you might be looking pretty a-okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna
All
put
right.
another Mike prediction out there from,
It's just
from
horrible.
last season?
It's horrible.
Jesus.
I like something that we mentioned last season, which wasn't anything about Kale and Mike and lying and nonsense, was that he says that he's going to play like Sandra, which is cool because they're different archetypes. I think that that's something cool to point out, is like the same way that Kale, he's like this enigma to you where he's like, how is this guy like in an OR, like working, like whether indirectly or not, on someone's heart, right? Looking the way that he does, like he's kind of like this, like he doesn't fit the mold, right? So in some ways it might be hard to pin down exactly what he's going to be like. What was the guy Brad? He could be like Brad. He could be running around the island like a lunatic. Like we have no idea.
Lunatic.
He could be.
I'm hoping he's not. He seems a little bit chiller than Brad, maybe.
No, he did.
in
He
some of
did
his
seem that way.
interviews.
I think he could be even keel. I think.
Yeah. He
I
gives
think
me
I'm middle of the road on
strong. He gives me just strong, like suburban dad, very
Yeah.
chill, cuts the lawn.
That's fair.
Vibes.
But what does that
I'm
get
Mike.
you? Where does that get you in Survivor? Like, what
I don't know,
what
but he
does
made
that
me
give
feel
you?
good, and that's what really matters.
That's fair. That's a good argument. I like that. If he made
I
you
think
feel
I
good.
think he'll be a comforting presence on the island. I think people are going to want to keep him around.
right,
let me do a pause with 5. There's 5 left.
There's 5 people left. Yeah.
Anybody super excited for at least 1 or 2 of the remaining people?
About the remaining that we haven't talked about yet.
Yes.
I
Yes.
gotta go through them a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. Kale,
Yes. I'm like looking at the
I
list
have
now.
2.
All right,
That's
well,
fair.
Get
we're
ready.
going through them, Kale. We're gonna
Get
get
ready.
we'll get to them.
Get ready.
We've got Owen Knight. Is Owen Knight one of your people?
Has to
Yes,
be,
sir.
right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Has to be. Has to be.
Sir.
Then give it to us, Kale. Give us the rundown.
This is my winner pick right here, Mr. Owen Knight.
This is you're already giving your winner pick, huh?
100%.
Well, tell us
the way
about him.
The way he carried himself. Again, we went through this, this whole description and more, that characteristics and ideology of what it really means to embody charisma.
Mhm.
I think Owen has it to a T. He also knows the game inside and out. At least he claims to.
Yeah.
So he should have no lack of which. To me, there's a lot of different characters on here that are going to make this season great, but I think not everybody is super Survivor fan, and so Owen to me embodies the right mix. As long as he can carry that self-awareness trait that we keep talking about, I think he's going to have the right mix of being charismatic and having the knowledge to know when to pull moves, when to sit back, and when to do A, B, and C.
Yeah. I mean,
Sure,
I think he's going to have
Owen's
the
gonna
same
kick ass.
same challenge that we talked about with Ryan is managing threat level. That's going to be his biggest challenge. Because even just looking at him, like exactly what you said, Kale, like he's got no obvious flaws here. Like,
Dude, he looks like he was created to play the game. Like,
but that's
he
why
has
I think
EQ.
that's why I don't think he's
Exactly.
going to win.
He also said
I
he
agree.
grew his hair to look like Woo, which if you looked like Woo and people knew who Woo was,
They would underestimate you.
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, you're gonna make a
crazy.
silly mistake. I think if he can play off like the like kind of dumb, like not dumb, but like if he can make him seem not as
I
smart
don't
as
think he really even needs to pretend to be anyone that he's not. I think that he can really gain control if he does it the way that like he seems to be able to. Like
I think
that he could-
it seems like to me. I think that if he's just himself, he's gonna get voted out as just being too big of a threat.
that's another thing. Could he have been a winner on season 38? Yeah, maybe not now. That's another.
That's what
thing
I'm
to
worried
put in
about. But that's why I think
perspective.
like if he's gonna win, I think he needs to have some character work.
Yeah, like Omar got clipped. Like it could be the same thing. He could be just as good at what he's doing and still not.
And Owen
make
looks
it.
like he'll be better at challenges than Omar was.
Yeah, which is in a sense potentially worse.
Exactly.
But also, Kale, it's not a bad bet to bet that he's gonna win too, because like if you have to look at this entire cast and had to safely say, like, you know, at some risk to yourself, right? Like, name one person who's guaranteed to make the merge. If you're not saying Owen, you're wrong. I think he's the safest bet to make the merge, right? In what scenario can you think of that could possibly happen pre-merge that could come and disrupt his game? I don't really see anything. He's strong. He's valuable to the tribe. He's smart and can make social connections. He doesn't have to be like a wizard at any one thing. He's just, I think he's a lock to make it into the post merge.
Oh, and then it comes to relationship building, and I do think, you know, sometimes people come in here claiming that they know the game of Survivor way more than they truly do. But there's so many different levels to this game, and especially if you're able to understand this new facet of 40 and beyond. Man, I there's a lot to like about Owen.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about him.
right
I
there
think
with you.
I'm worried about his threat management. I think that's the big thing for me. All right, next on Coco Tribe, we've got Sammy, 19 years old, super young. Dude looks like he's 30. It's crazy.
Really?
He does.
I think he looks really old.
Well,
he
I think he looks like a 19 years old.
He comes
the
off
facial
as
hair
like,
and the glasses. The facial and the glasses definitely.
Yeah, I didn't have a beard
Not
like
19.
that when I was 19.
I think I did.
You did, but you're a
I think he's
freak.
also very tall. I think he's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, he does have a weird job too, though.
I think it's hilarious.
Pet
Actually,
cremator?
it's horrible, but it's like
He has
it
to be
kind of
lying.
fits with him. No, I mean it's like
He has to be lying.
It's like this weird, like, you know, I don't even know how to describe it as.
How is
career
that? I don't
hazard.
understand though. Like, why is that? I just thought the vets just did that. I thought you were just a vet.
Probably like.
Why
Like
is there
strictly
that?
pets.
No, yeah, he was probably at a vet. He works at a veterinary. Or
No, I know, but like,
veterinary?
I just figured the vets would do it. Why do they
works
have a
at a vet's office.
specialized person
Yeah. I
who's
don't
doing
know.
the How many cremations are they doing a day?
You're saying that?
No, I don't
you're
think they're
saying-
doing too many.
Is he just pushing a button? Is that what you're
That's
saying?
what I mean. It's like, let the vet do it.
I don't know. It's dark, but it kind of fits his personality. I feel like he would like laugh at it in a weird in a weird way.
Jeez.
It seems like that's his character. He jokes around. Okay,
Look,
let me just
I
let me
can
break the
safely
ice.
say
Let me break the
Sammy
ice.
I think
has
he's
a
gonna be sick of
0%
challenge.
chance of winning.
I think he's gonna be sick of
Okay.
challenges, though. I think he's gonna be really
Fine.
good at challenges.
He's most likely to rub someone the
the wrong way.
Yeah, it's the lock of the century. I mean,
I think so.
Jonathan
I think-
came off as like super like actually like personable and nice and like calm and relaxed, and he still ended up pissing off
Yes,
the
he
entire
pissed off a
cast.
lot of people,
This
yeah.
guy is Sammy's coming out there, guns blazing. He's talking about how his quads are so big, and that's how he's
And
gonna
he's
win.
burning your
He's
pets.
19 years old. He thinks he's gonna be able to relate with everyone. Everyone's gonna look at him like a kid, even though he doesn't think that about himself. It's a lock to get people against you. But regardless, he still could be very funny and entertaining.
Yeah, he could.
Oh,
no,
no doubt.
I'm excited to watch
No
him
doubt.
play.
Yeah,
Don't get me
I-
wrong.
okay, I
I don't
agree
think he's
with you.
going
This-
very far.
This is my first 0%er.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is your first
So-
0. Oh, Gio's my 0%er.
No,
So-
you know, yeah.
Okay.
If Gio, if
Out.
you know, yeah.
Kale, you were referencing predictions that you had last year, so let me just jump in the water really quick. I said that Jonathan, who is this big guy who usually that archetype gets clipped right after the merge, is going to go far into the game. And that's what happened, right? Jonathan did go pretty far into the game. He lost at Fire. He's a big guy.
He did go far in the game, Kale. You got to admit.
But
I
Sammy
never said
is
that.
not that
None
person.
of us disagreed with you.
Yeah,
that wasn't even a hot take.
I didn't remember how you related to my take. I'm just letting you know that I had it. And Sammy is not that person. Sammy is not the person to go far in the game.
Also, he's
Even
not
though
going
he's
to
the big
dominate like
archetype.
Jonathan. Nobody on this cast is
For sure,
there's
but
not
the
even
amount
close.
of dominance that Jonathan had should have actually made it so that he would get clipped earlier, right? That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
but everybody knew he was like the least strategic
Yeah, but
person
that
in the world.
merge was a shit show.
That merge
Regardless,
was a shit show. All right, regardless, I
semantics.
don't think any of us have a hugely
No.
positive view on Sammy here. So let's
No.
keep moving.
Yep.
Ellie from the Coco Tribe, 31 years old, clinical psychologist. We got another psychologist, therapist,
Those make
Tori.
the claim, buddy.
No, I'm good.
No claims?
What claim?
Tori.
Well, Tori was, Tori was her own
Tori was a little
entity.
bit more abrasive than Ellie's coming off as.
But yeah,
No, I
I
think Ellie's super smart. Even
Yeah.
I'm very excited about Ellie. I think
some of
she's
her vocabulary was pretty well thought.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny thing from her interviews, but I think she's gonna be very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about Ellie. I think she could do really good things this season, especially with the tribe she has. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I think she could sit very well in the crew
In the middle.
there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All
agree.
right, next we got Mariah, Baca Tribe, 28 years old, teacher. Producers really did her tough with this shirt. I don't know if she wanted to bring it or not, but I mean, she's already got the hair.
Wait, whoa! What kind of question is it? Her socks have a rainbow. Her hair has a rainbow.
No, I know. Of course. I just like.
She
don't know if you want to draw that much
adjective on
attention to yourself
colorful.
on the show.
But she wasted an adjective on herself saying that she's colorful. Like, tell, don't, what is it?
we
got
that
don't
one.
tell. Yeah, we got it. You can
got
use
that
another
one.
word, if you wanted to. You have one free word, I don't know.
No, I think
Just poking fun.
Look, I think she could be one of these dark horse people this season. She's a contender for a dark horse. I think she's ripe to be underestimated.
Sure, that's
okay.
fine.
Okay. That's
But there's a
fun. And
tar-
I'll throw some contentions onto your argument there. Being a teacher, specifically, I think she does performing arts with middle school children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long she's done it, but if she's done it for a number of years, she has to have some practice and patience. That's a fact.
Totally.
So I will give you that as contention. When you're coming out onto the island with all the attire having the rainbow look and everything like that, like that's an immediate flashlight onto every move that you're gonna make. So people are gonna overanalyze if you're too crazy, if you're not crazy. Like everybody's gonna be looking at what you're doing no matter what because you're putting that.
I hear you. It's
Totally,
noticeable, but
totally.
I think if I'm on Survivor and I see somebody come up with all these colors and stuff like that, I'm immediately going, I don't think they're that good of a player because they shouldn't be drawing this attention themselves. Like I said, I think she is a prime person to be
Like a
underestimated.
dishonest signal.
Yeah, and then just get make it all the way to the end, and then have those two big moves right at the end, and call it a day. And if she's teaching performing arts, she can give a speech. She can,
I don't know. About
I understand that, but and that's what's tough because yes, that is what won last season. Marianne came out and she was extremely bubbly, and everybody's like, I don't think we can take her necessarily as serious as she ended up being. So yes, I understand that, but to my point that I was just saying before, I think every move she makes from the beginning is under a microscope, and that's never a good spot to put yourself in.
I don't think she. I think that's untrue though. I think people are going to write her off early.
But
And so
They're
okay,
still
her
going to
moves
look
are-
at her. They're still going to look to see what she's like.
Physically, but I think
No,
they're-
not just physically. They're gonna
I don't think
listen
people are
to
going
her
be
too.
No, but I think she's going to come on the island and people are going to be like, they're not going to be like, oh, what is she planning? I don't think people are going to be like, what is she?
No.
I think she's gonna
I'm just
have-
saying you literally cannot go under the radar at all. You literally.
I think you draw attention early, and by drawing that attention in this way, you are going to get written off by a lot of other players, and I think
high
that
risk,
could
high
go really
reward.
well.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Who else has a better shot at being the dark horse, like playing that dark
Cassidy.
horse strategy? No,
Potentially.
not at all.
Wait, regardless, Cassidy is out in the open, I think.
Cassidy's
And
way
Dwight.
out in the open.
Wait. Listen, picture somebody like Ryan, going back to Ryan, right?
Yeah.
He's somebody that this is how I think things should go strategically. You want to come in and be able to create instant connections with as many people as you can.
Sure.
You want to be able to accommodate by being average, trying to be as meh as just whatever you want
I
to be.
don't think Marianne was meh.
Well, no, but she was not meh. I'm not going to say she was meh because she wasn't. But
I also don't think she made great connections with everybody. Like I think,
But
like,
don't
she was
you want to
lovable, but she
reveal
was.
personality traits over time that benefit your game and then hit them at the end with this is my entire story at Final Tribal Council. This is kind of coming in guns blazing, and I think it's high risk, high reward.
Well, that is the phrasing that's perfect. I think it is high risk, high reward. I truly think that Marianne's winning season, although she really did do well at the end, you play that season 50 more times, I don't think that ever happens again.
Yeah.
I don't think we could utilize. I know what you're saying, Sim, but I don't think we could utilize last season as a real.
No, look. I'm not saying that I think that Mariah's going to be able to come in and
Simi,
be able to capitalize on it. But I think that people are going to underestimate her and write her off because of this. Way she's presenting herself.
We talked about Owen and Jesse earlier, potentially, but Owen definitely because it's in writing. Doing something to their hair strategically to make it advantageous for them, to have other people perceive them in a way that is different than who they are, right?
Okay.
For their own strategic purposes. What about this is strategic? Because this seems like this is how she is as a person in the world.
And I think that's okay. I think, but in the same way that Marianne was also being herself. She is like a loud.
But I get what you're saying.
She
but
wasn't
picture
doing that
Marianne also.
either.
But picture Marianne being that way and also having 10 different colors in her hair.
But I don't know that she's going to be like that from a personality standpoint. I'm just saying that me personally, if somebody came on the island with bright rainbow socks and a rainbow shirt and rainbow hair, I'm more likely to write them off strategically. Is that true or false?
I'm also way more likely to hear all about them and hear all their shit and immediately before.
I think you get a lot of
I'm just saying,
Mariah
is this
day one, and then you kind of
Is it? But you're saying it as if it's a good thing for her strategically
to be written off early. Yeah.
But is that what you're saying? Her intention is?
That also can get your ass voted off right immediately.
I don't know, but toast. It doesn't matter if it's intentional or not.
Why? We're playing a game for $1 million. If you have the chance to portray yourself differently than you are.
Toast. So are you saying that you think somebody who didn't have rainbow hair and a rainbow shirt before this and then did that, you'd give them a better shot than somebody who actually lives that
I would be
day-to-day?
more willing to hear out what the strategy is and be happy that they actually are coming in with a strategy. If you're saying, generally speaking, that your inclination as yourself is to underestimate someone like this, that presents this way with all of this colors, and I mean, it's like a tropical bird of paradise. Everything is looking at it.
I think it's a fallacy to say that just because she made it a change intentionally, that it is better for her game.
It's not necessarily a fallacy. I'm just saying that I'm not necessarily
I'm gonna lay this on the
that.
line. I'm gonna lay this on the line.
Wait, Kale, let me get it out because I want to hear what you have to say. But let's just clear this up because I want to make sure we understand. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that your main default is to say that you will underestimate her because of how she presents.
Yes.
I'm saying that might not be the case, A, and B, it doesn't really matter because if she didn't intend on that happening, then you can't be like, okay, that's a positive for her moving forward.
But she might know that could happen to her by looking like this.
She may or may not. Yeah, you're right.
Because if she's living life with this rainbow hair and stuff like that, I'm sure people all the time are like, oh, she's just some ditzy, girl who loves color in her hair, and she might be a very intelligent person. Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but I wish
her.
This is laid out so simply.
Yeah,
laid out so simply. It's high risk, high reward, like you said, Toast.
Okay, all right.
It's point blank. This, you never want to be the talk of the town on the first
day
of Survivor.
It's 12 hours in, you lost the first thing. Everyone said your name before.
Look, I agree. I'm just saying that I think she's the most likely person to be able to successfully pull off a dark horse strategy, assuming she can make it through those first 2 weeks.
Yes. And that's what I'm trying to say, though, too, because if there's no intention behind it, then we have no way of ascertaining whether or not she can actually convert on that under the radar strategy.
I don't think we can accurately ascertain whether any of these people can convert on any of their strategies pre-strategy. No, Kale's the worst at it, actually.
If you're saying that this is just who she is and that's how she's coming into the game, then we have no way of knowing whether or not it was strategic for her to do that. So
I'd rather people not know my name on day one. They can't write it down. I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
I think we both see each other's perspectives. I'm not going to take it away from you.
I'm not
I
saying,
get what you're saying.
let's be clear. I don't think she's not my winner pick.
Okay.
That's
No.
not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think she's the most likely person out of this whole cast to be like immediately written off as a strategic.
And thus voted off.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
why would you vote off a person you think is really bad strategically?
Day one, when we're down
people
one
are trying
person.
you're trying to win challenges and stuff. If you don't think that she's
Yeah,
good,
but I think this team has enough people who are going to be good in challenges that it.
All right. Agree to disagree. You and I agree.
You think this is the tribe that's going to be like, we've got to keep our one strong person. We've got Owen. We've got Sammy.
Oh, if you're watching 41 and 42, yeah. I think more than ever with no tribe swaps, you have to keep your strong people.
I guess.
That's a good point, Kale. That's a good point, actually. That's a good point.
I only have good points.
Regardless, let's keep moving.
That's why I say it so often.
We'll see. I'm keeping this in mind.
Okay, fine. Yeah, hold it.
All right, and last on the Baka tribe, we've got Janine here. I really like Janine because she has the same job as me. She's a UX designer, and I like that. What do you
Very
guys
bad
think
for
about-
Survivor. People with those jobs have very poor takes. Have very poor takes on Survivor.
Damn, dude. Really hit me with it.
No, truth
I'm
be
a
told,
big Janine
I'm a
fan,
fan.
and I
Yeah, I'm
think
a fan
Janine
too.
and Owen are going to be in an alliance, and they're going to make it to the end. One of the two are going to win, and that's the show. Thank you.
Okay. Kale, at least if you're so sure about it, why spoil it? Let us at least try to nail a prediction
Yeah, let us
here
at least
before you-
enjoy it a little bit.
No, but
Savor it.
Kale, I tend to agree with you. Maybe not on the exact unfolding of events, but I think that she has a lot of intangibles that are good about her. I think that she's a good looking, normal sort of can blend in the beginning, which I think lends more towards blending necessarily than being completely out there and being underestimated. I think just blending in is better. So sorry, I keep harping on this, but I think
I agree that in general blending in is better. I don't disagree with you on that.
so sorry. I really can't help myself. I'm sorry. I think that she has a lot of good factors that are intangible. I think that she can get along with people. I hope that she is not one of those petty go after people. I hope that she's go with the flow, sits on things, really is intentional, and I think she could be really good socially too. So that's
No,
my
she's excited for the game, and I think she might know the game really well too. And I'm telling you, I'm putting an emphasis specifically on this cast for knowing how to maneuver the game. I didn't get a lot of truly dedicated Survivor fandom from a lot of these different cast members. Janine and Owen stood out to me heavily.
Yeah, Owen made it clear. He picked Adam as his player that he wants to play who was one of the first super fan winners. You know what I mean? Which is lending to the point that you're making clearly. But
Yeah. All right, well let's look at Baka tribe as a whole.
well, Simi,
Here we got
wait.
Mike.
What did you think?
Oh.
What do you think?
Oh
About it?
yeah, no, I mean, I meant to say I just totally agree with everything you guys have said.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think it
cool.
makes a lot of sense. I'm excited to see Janine play. I think she could be really good. All right, Baka tribe as a whole, we got Mike, Owen, Sammy, Ellie, Mariah, and Janine. I think there's a lot of good.
Synergy.
Synergy with this tribe. I think this tribe's
like
gonna
that.
get along really
like
well. I'm interested to see how they do in challenges here. I think Sammy and Owen are gonna be really good. I think Janine could be really good. I think Mike could potentially.
Bessie
he's a little
tribe
old,
is the first tribe is most likely the strongest.
I think
I
I
agree.
think so too. I think that
as
really
an
does
individual,
depend. I think it does depend on challenge wise though. I mean, they do have a person with one leg.
They have the
that could
highest
make some
average.
She's
certain
gonna
challenges.
dominate.
She's gonna
dominate.
No, I
dominate.
know, but it could make certain challenges more difficult.
You're acting like her leg's gonna fall off.
She
that's
said herself in
that.
an interview
She said
that her
that.
leg
She
is
said
going to
that.
fall
Oh,
off.
she
at
did?
some point. Yeah.
Yeah, she
it
said
falls
that.
off.
She
Well,
said
like
she
it's
was
not
playing
like
lacrosse and
it's
it
not
fell
like
off.
screwed
No, she
into her
said it.
leg. Yeah. It's going to fall off at some point. I don't think that's going to Also, look, let's be clear. If
It's blowing my
if it
mind.
falls off and they lose a challenge, there's no way they're voting her off. Nobody wants to look like the
Yeah,
bad
'cause that's
guy.
very
They're not
directly-
going to do that.
It's not going to be like that. I think that she's super strong. I think that she's one of the positive. She's actually bringing the average up, in my opinion. Which I think
she's
again.
No, I know.
Again, I think is
But
her
let's
downfall.
keep it.
Though.
Let's keep it a Baka.
Yeah,
here.
go
let's
to
keep it a
Baka,
Baka
yeah.
here. What are your guys'
I
thoughts
think-
on the tribe as a whole?
Baka.
I like.
Sorry.
I like what you said to me about Ellie being able to sit in the middle. I really think that she can.
Yeah.
I see her being able to make like surface level, not necessarily alliances, but relationships with basically everyone here. I don't see her having a problem at all. I think Mike is going to have some problems making inroads immediately, but I do think he has the added benefit of being valuable in challenges. Just even if he's not valuable in challenges, the default is to think that he is valuable in challenges. So I think that he can scoot by for at least a couple of weeks before he really has to show his prowess. I just see Mariah having a little bit of difficulty making inroads with the majority of the tribe. Like, Kale, you said Janine and Owen, like, I can see them making easy, small talk. I think Sammy, as long as he's not super abrasive right away, can, like, get in with that crowd. I don't know. I
think Sammy's going to step on a toe, and if they lose week
sure.
one, he's.
They can't get rid of him, though. They can't get rid of him. He's going to be.
I know it's tough. It's tough. I think people could also potentially want to keep Mariah around as a shield, as a very visible shield.
No, see, you were going.
You're thinking too
ahead
late
of
game.
yourself.
Yeah.
I know.
This is
Late
early
games.
game.
I think she's gonna. Get rid
later,
of.
Simmy.
Mark my
Yeah, see you
words.
later,
I think she's gonna get underestimated. Whether or not she
That's
can
fine.
capitalize on that, I don't know.
Yeah, but Simi, people who actually can't step up to the plate also get underestimated, or actually they probably just get estimated.
Yeah,
because
Toast. But it's preseason.
So I'm
we know
saying-
nothing about these people.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I get that you're saying that someone could be underestimated and then.
I'm just saying that there appears to be a new meta evolving where underestimated people
That's fair.
win games. And I'm saying that
fair.
I think she's the most likely to be underestimated out of the people we're looking at.
What if she's just perfectly estimated?
Look, if she's perfectly estimated, then she gets out. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, there we go. Then
So
that's
we'll
that.
see. All right. Well, those are the preseason cast here. Let's talk, guys. Let's talk about our top threes here for this season. And out of your top threes, I want everybody to pick a winner. Kale, we basically know who yours is, so you go first. Tell us your top three picks here. I feel like you don't even think about it. Kale locked this in days ago, and he's not
can we
even-
quickly go up to the other tribes really quick, just so I have them in my
we're
head
going
too?
through. So we got the Coco,
Here
we
we
got
go.
Lindsay, Cassidy, Gio, Ryan, James, Carla. We were just looking at Baka, and the first tribe we looked at was Vessi, Dwight, Noelle, Jesse, Justine, Cody, and Neca.
Listen, I think it's clear as day that the power lies in the Baka tribe. I think the Vessi tribe will probably have the power in numbers come the merge, which has won the last two seasons. If you predicted the strongest tribes going into the game, both had the eventual winner.
Sure.
So this would be
it to Simi's point potentially here, because the Baka tribe is the strongest. You're saying that the
they're not the
weak,
strongest.
underestimated female is.
I think
the
Kale's
one-
saying Vessi is the
Vessi.
strongest.
Vessi's the strongest.
Excuse me. Okay. All right. Vessi is the strongest. Okay. So
You're
so
getting
who?
a little, you're getting
so
a little messy
Kale,
here.
Kale, just give it to us. Who's your top three?
Yeah. Come on.
I think
cut
so.
the shit.
My top three. I'm gonna go on a limb and say I do. When I talk about dark horse, I'm gonna say it's really Cassidy is the dark horse. I really do like her, and even in looking at that tribe as a whole, I think it's gonna be an interesting tribe, and I think she's gonna nestle her way into a power position. And I just don't like the matchmaking in terms of who's gonna line. I couldn't tell you A, B, C, D, E, F. I couldn't tell you.
True.
I mean, I could
You're
try,
right.
but I couldn't. I really could not tell you.
We said Romeo and Tori would like each other because they're both in pageants, and they
And they hate-
they
they
never
barely
even talked
interacted.
about it.
No, they didn't
No,
even
actually, yeah, I
interact.
feel like they never said a word to each other.
Yeah. All right. So your first pick for your top three is Cassidy.
Yeah, and then I'll keep it simple. I think it's Janine and Owen show.
Please keep it simple. Yeah.
Janine and Owen. Okay.
It's
who?
the Janine and Owen show.
All right. So you
No,
got
Owen's
Janine.
gonna win this game in an undefeated vote.
Wow. Okay. That's bold, Kale. That is bold. So we got
It's pretty clear.
Cassidy, Owen, Janine, and a swept vote by Owen for the win.
Yes.
Toast. What are you thinking?
I mean, I hate to agree with Kale on 2 out of these 3 because just because he said it first, he's going to be able to say that it was his call,
Of course,
which was definitely strategic. There's no reason why Kale would just be like, he's the winner. Like, well,
If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to pick 3 different people that don't overlap with Kale at all.
That's fair, but you're going to overlap with me on 1 because I think that the person who's going to win right now is Ryan. I like Ryan a lot.
I don't think that's his winner pick.
No, I think it is.
He's in my top. He's in my top 3. He's not
He's
my
in
winner.
your top 3. Sure, and then I'll give Kale Owen. Obviously, you would be foolish not to pick Owen as somebody who's not going far. If you're just playing a numbers game, I think he's the only person that I can say confidently is locked to get to the merge. Just because I just don't see him fucking up that much to get voted out of that tribe early enough to not make the merge. So just pure probability-wise, I think that he, out of this entire cast, is.
I like how you're trying to dilute it.
All right,
And
so you
then I
got
also
Ryan
really
as your
like
winner
Janine.
pick.
I like Janine too.
Janine and Owen.
Putting a lot of faith in
is
this,
your 3?
in this Baka tribe. Yeah.
Okay.
I like Ryan a lot. We touched on Owen and Janine. I like Ryan a lot.
Ryan's in my top 3.
He seems like he's like a good guy.
Yeah. I think my top 3 for me, and I'm specifically picking this because I don't want to overlap with Kale at all, because I think he's bad at this, is Ryan. Like I said, Ryan's in my top 3. Ellie is also in my top 3 here.
Good pick.
And then my third person is actually going to be Jesse.
Jesse, yeah.
I like Jesse a lot.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think my winner pick, it's between Jesse and Ellie for me. I think I'm going to go Ellie right now. I think she could be low key enough. But yeah, that's my 3 is Jesse, Ryan, Ellie, and Ellie's my winner pick for that.
That's fair. Some other names that I think should be in consideration here. I think Justine has a chance to go far in the game.
Yeah, I'm just worried about, again, like her threat level. I think
exactly
as somebody who's super competitive,
and not necessarily wanting to win. Apparently,
yeah.
But
be on the lookout for Dwight. I'll throw my name in the Dwight.
Yeah, game. I'm a little worried. Dwight
out.
befalls a JD.
You can be
fate.
out. You can be out because I'm in. I'm in.
No,
I think
don't
Dwight
think
could
that.
be a JD
He's young.
2.0.
He's young like JD, I guess, but he just didn't have that like social umph that I was hoping for. It's one thing to interview powerful people, right? And it's a different thing to like have a conversation with a colleague on the beach. You know, like I think that's like,
well, I
the
think
least.
I think. Yeah, I agree. Well, one last question I want to ask you guys for this cast here is, who do we think is going to be the most fun person to watch out of this cast? Do we think we have another like Tori or somebody like that who's just going to be,
no,
just
Cody
week after
puts
week?
Cody puts himself out there that he could be.
You think Cody?
Interesting.
Can we go?
Yeah.
Let's go back here.
I'm trying to look through these as well.
I don't know. I can't really hit it right away.
I mean,
Honestly,
I
I think it could be Sammy. I think you could just be pissing people off. If he can make
That
it through
too.
a couple weeks, I think he could be really fun to watch.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Mike, honestly, too. I'm excited
Mike
about.
could be interesting.
Excited to watch Mike.
I like you know my premise is that Survivor's done real well with casting.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I mean,
we
I
already
think,
know.
yeah, Kale loves the cast. He's gonna say it every ep this season. I'm excited to hear it.
So, quick points to touch on, right? We're ditching the hourglass twist.
Yeah, ditching hourglass.
We're done with that, which is great. And
I think they're
the
ditching
other
the phrases, right?
phrases are out. And then the other thing that's big, but not necessarily a production thing, is just the fact that these casts have seen 41 and 42.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So
I think that's gonna be
Well,
huge.
and here's the big point of what I said is that you gotta hope that they've seen 41 and 42.
yeah, I mean, they would be fools not to, right?
I
you
understand.
gotta.
I understand. I'm telling you, I think super fandom is not a tremendous strain within this crowd.
I would love that personally. I love when we don't get, a ton of super fans in a season.
I mean, I want a lack. I don't want a lack of something game changing that we have never seen. And you know what? I'll throw out a bone. I'll throw out a quick bone. Lindsay was a super fan, is a super fan, and if she can emulate a little Chrissy Hoffbeck, I think
All right, that's fair.
be okay.
Yeah.
One more thing I just want to hit on really quick is that for Survivor, I think to be constantly evolving the way that the show really has, like for 41 and 42, we mentioned it a couple of times. I know I mentioned it a couple of times last season that at the outcome of the season, we saw Marianne had won and played a very strikingly similar game to Erica. I pointed out all of the similarities. They were on the strongest tribe pre-merge. They played an under the radar game. They used their life experiences in their final tribal to blow everybody away, and then they won in a 7-1-0 vote. It was very similar. You can switch one in for the other, and it's the same game. Not really, but like the same sort of person is winning the game. That's not how it's been historically speaking in Survivor. You can have Boston Rob win, and then you can have Natalie White win. That is why Survivor's so cool, is that the person who wins is not necessarily going to be the same type of winner every time. That's why I think it's such a cool, relatable show, is because you can bring to the table what your strengths are and hope that the game flows in the way that you want it to, so that your strengths can shine. The problem is that the selection pressure in Survivor these past 2 seasons has been so identical that I think that it actually has caused the same type of player to come out with the win. It's the person who lays under the radar until the very end and then pulls out a couple of moves and then has a very good speech. Now that's a great winner, but do we want to see that from now on? Do we want to look and see the same person, the same archetype win every time? No, so I'm happy that Survivor's kind of like releasing some of the reins here and letting the
but listen, I still think there was variables and things and catalysts at play that were different in both the 2 seasons. I truly believe Drea wins that game if she didn't whisper to Omer. Like if she didn't whisper to Omer, she would have been all right, and she just needed to win one challenge and she won the game.
But I get what you're saying, that there obviously could have been other outcomes, and I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that the same thing happened not just with the winners, but with the people surrounding them. All of the big threats started to eat away at each other 2 steps too soon. Shan got taken out.
Yeah.
Ricard got taken out. Danny, Deshaun, all got taken out. Now Hai gets taken out. Omer, Drea, all of these big threats.
Well,
Lindsay,
I think that
Jonathan.
pressure has been built because of this short seasons. Like
That's what I'm saying.
You get to the end
So
so much quicker. You're like, the
That's
pressure's
what I'm
on. You're like,
saying.
I got to get rid of these people.
That's literally what I'm saying. It's selection pressure. That is what it is. It's the production causing a certain formula to play out, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time.
Yeah.
Really,
And we want to see the game keep changing and evolving, and
for sure.
like you said, Toast. I mean, that's why it's interesting because you can get a totally different person season to season. So I for
Thanks
one,
for the
I'm really
rants.
excited
I'm sorry, guys. I needed that. I need at least one rant.
I'm glad you got it out of you. Glad you got it out. I'm really excited about this season 43. Really excited for the premiere this week. Really happy we could get to sit down and talk about the cast.
Great to be back.
And
Good to be back.
other than that, thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe.
Smash that like.
Yeah, and if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, please give us a follow, rate, and review. It really helps the show. We really appreciate it. And other than that, boys, I'll see you next time.